we're going to start off lying on the back. So lie on your back, take your arms in a goalpost position, and have your feet hip socket distance apart on the floor. So in today's class, I am working with a sprained ankle here today. So I'm going to be moving tenderly with the ankle. Shouldn't affect the practice too much. So just start off by becoming aware of your breath. Let the breath move slowly in and out through your nose. Allow yourself to be grounded with the movement of the breath. Now start to turn the breath into physical movement. So as you exhale, tuck your buttock, flatten your lower back. Then as you inhale, arch your lower back. As far away from the floor, tip the tailbone towards the floor. Then exhale, round your lower back, and let the chin move away from your chest. As you inhale, arch the lower back, let the chin move towards the chest. Exhale, flatten lower back, chin away from the chest. Inhale, arch lower back, chin into the chest. Exhale, flatten lower back, chin away from the chest. Inhale, arch lower back, chin into the chest. Good, one more round. Exhale. Then come back to neutral and just relax. So these slow movements with the breath, really good for the subtle body. Bring the arms to the side. Now take the legs up one at a time. Actually just one leg up, keeping your spine in neutral without the pelvis moving. We're just going to march the legs. So now without the pelvis moving, bring the left knee up into tabletop position and lower it back down. Then bring the right leg up into tabletop position without the spine moving. Now see if you can bring the left leg up to meet it. So hold the legs in tabletop. Now slowly extend the right leg forward and lower it just halfway to the floor. Bring it back up. Then stretch the left leg forward, lower it halfway down, and bring it back up. Try not to let the lower spine lift up and down. Stretch the right leg forward, lower it halfway, bring it back up. Stretch the left leg forward, lower halfway, bring it back up. Now add the arms. Raise the arms up. Lower your right leg, stretch your left arm back. Come back up. Stretch the left leg forward. Stretch the right arm back. Try not to let the pelvis twist, like you had quarters on your hip bones. Don't let them fall off. Now start to move with your breath, opposite arm leg stretch. Keep going side to side, left leg forward, right arm back. Come back up. Right leg forward, left arm back. Come back up. Left leg forward, right arm back. Come back up. Exhale, stretch the right leg, left arm. Inhale, back up. Exhale, stretch the left leg, right arm. Cinch in on your waist. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, stretch the right leg, left arm. Inhale, back up. Exhale, the left leg, right arm. Inhale, come back up. Then put your fingers behind your ears. And as you exhale, curl up towards your knees. Inhale, lower back down. Open up the elbows. Exhale, crunch up towards your right inner knee. Inhale, lower back down. Exhale, twist towards your left inner knee. Twisting, ringing, exercising diaphragm. Exhale, crunch right up in the middle. Inhale, lower back down. Exhale to the right inner knee. Inhale, come back down. Exhale to the left inner knee, deepen in the obliques. Inhale, back down. Exhale up to the center. Inhale, back down. Exhale to the right and stretch the left leg forward. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Stretch the right leg forward. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Stretch the left leg forward. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left knee. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Now add the left hand and straighten the arms. Exhale to the left. Exhale to the right. Inhale. Exhale to the left. Inhale. Exhale. Lift up in the middle. Straighten the legs. Tighten the knees. Push up through your toe mounds. Now lift the tailbone up off the floor and flatten the lower back and hold. Keep lifting. Keep the neck long. And release. Hug your knees into your chest. Good. Then just relax on your back for a moment. Take the elbows wide. Cross the right knee over the left. And as you inhale, let the knees go over to the right. Come back to center as you exhale. Inhale the knees over to the right, pumping in the hips. Exhale back to center. Again, inhale knees over to the right. If you'd like, gaze to your left elbow, turn the neck the opposite way. Pause there for an extra breath or two. Then bring the knees back to center. Change the cross of the legs, left knee over the right. As you inhale, slowly let the knees go over to the left. Try not to let the shoulders lift, like the right shoulder has a sandbag on it. Exhale back to center. Inhale, knees over to the left. Exhale back to center. Inhale, knees over to the left again. Turn your gaze towards your right elbow. Pause there and hold. Then bring the knees, gaze back to center. Roll over to your right side. Press yourself up. Come onto the hands and the knees. Place the hands right underneath the shoulders. Place the knees underneath the hips. And then turn the hands around. Turn the thumbs to point out, fingers to point back. Start to spread your fingers and stretch the fingers towards the knees. As you inhale, arch your back. Roll the chest forward. Exhale, round the back, draw the navel into the spine, look at your belly. Inhale, arch your back, then come into neutral. Now, without letting the hips twist, stretch the right leg back behind you. You'll feel that your right hip wants to lift and the right thigh wants to turn out. See if you can keep the hips in neutral. Lower the knee back down, lift up through the wrists, lift up through your middle. Now stretch the left leg back. Try not to let the hips twist. Hug the outer armpits in and down evenly. Then lower that knee back down. Then turn your hands around. Now come into modified side plank. With the right hand, right knee down, make sure that your wrist is underneath the top of your shoulder. Now stack up the shoulders. Take the left arm up once you're steady. So now here, just work on getting the shoulder girdle open. Broaden across the collarbones. If you're steady enough, you could stretch the bottom leg out. Try to keep the left hip stacked right up on top of the right. Don't let the hips open up to the ceiling. So turn the hips to face forward. Now spiral the inner thighs back and pin the outer hips in. Lift up your belly and lift your outer side chest. Press through the four corners of your feet. Good, then come back to plank. Lower the left knee down and prepare for the other side. So make sure the left hand is lined up well. Your hand isn't turned in at all. The hand presses evenly. Rotate your inner left arm forward. Inner arm to outer arm. Open up your chest. Once you're steady, you could take the left leg, stretch it out to meet the right. Or if you haven't built a lot of strength in your arms yet, you can just keep the left knee down. Work on strengthening the arms. Hold here, stack the hips up. As you spiral the inner thighs, groins back, pin the outer hip bones in. Draw the navel up towards your sternum. Lift the sternum, broaden the collarbones. Shoulder blades press in. Then slowly come back to plank pose. Hold in the plank, push down through the knuckles, fingerprints, turn the inner armpits forward. Press the big toe mounds down and engage your quads. Now lift the right leg up without twisting the hips, turn the thigh out and bring the knee up. Then stretch it back. Try not to let the shoulders twist. Lift the left leg up, bring the knee up to the side like buttock uttanasana, stretch the leg back. Without the shoulders twisting, keeping your middle in, bring the right knee out to the side and stretch it back. Push the hands evenly. Then bring the left knee up. Try not to let the head hang. Stretch it back. Bring the right knee up to the side. Stretch it back. Bring the left knee up to the side. Hug those outer armpits down. Collarbones broad. Stretch it back. Right knee up to the side. Stretch it back. Left knee up to the side like tree pose. Stretch it back. Then set the knees down. Lower down onto your belly. Stretch your toes back. And stretch your arms all the way forward. Actually, toes curled under for this one. So we're going to do modified Shalabhasana, toes curled under, push the toes down, lift up your inner knees. Now press the fingertips down, lift up your belly. Now lift the right leg up just an inch, but keep the hip bones even. So we're going to teach stability for the spine, then take the left arm up. Good, change sides. Lift the left foot up an inch, point the toes back, and raise the right arm. Try not to let the hips twist. Then lower down, change sides, lift the right leg up an inch, stretch the toes, change sides, lift the left leg up an inch, right arm up, release, change sides. See if you can feel the two sides working evenly. Keep going. So notice when you raise the arm up, do you let one side of the neck take over? Does it feel like the hips get wonky? Try to keep the hips even though you're doing these asymmetrical stretches. Good. Now bring the hands next to your side ribs. Bring the elbows in towards each other as you push the toe mounds, lift the inner thighs, shoulder blades on your back. Keep pressing strong through the legs, push back through the heels, spin the inner thighs up, pin the outer hips in and draw the belly up off the mat. Lift the shoulder heads. Then lower yourself back down. Push up onto hands and knees. Take the hands in front of the shoulders so that heel of the hand aligns with the top of the shoulder. Knees just about a couple inches back behind the hips, then curl the toes under and stretch back in a downward facing dog. So first down dog, keep a rotation of the inner arms. Turn the inner arms towards the outer arms. Turn the triceps in towards each other. And without losing that, see how far back you can stretch the hips away from the wrists. Press the thigh bones back away from the wrists. And just like when you're practicing on your hands and your knees, with the hands turned around, keep a lift through the wrists. Press the knuckles, lift up through the wrists. A few more breaths here. Then set the knees down onto the floor. Sit back, stretch the legs out. Sit in Dandasana. In Dandasana, put your fingertips to your side, roll the shoulders back. See if you can sit up perfectly straight and tall, like you're making a 90-degree angle with your body. Then bring your right heel in towards you. Take your left leg out to the side a little bit to create a little bit more space. So now you won't be able to sit up all the way with that right knee in, but I want you to try to sit up as straight as possible and maybe make a 90-degree angle from your thigh bone to your torso, so you lean the torso back just slightly. Then hook the right elbow to the inside of the knee, left hand behind you. As you roll your inner left thigh down, press your inner right foot and lift up through the sides of your waist. Lift your side chest, start to turn. Then release, back to center, change sides. Bring the left knee in, heel closer to the buttock, right hand behind you, hook the left elbow on the inside of the knee, roll the right inner thigh down, sit tall, Bring the sacrum in. Make sure the bones of the lower back aren't sinking back. So sacrum in as you push the inner left foot, start to twist. Not as interested how close your left heel comes. Ideally, the heel would come close to the buttock, but if it makes you slouch back, no point in doing that. So I'm purposely doing this without any props today. Ideally, I would be sitting on 2 blankets to try to get my heel in close, to actually get closer to the classic posture. So press down in your left foot, lengthen up through the spine, revolve your chest. And come back to center. Then come onto the hands and the knees. And take downward facing dog. So now after having done those stretches, just feel if you have any more access into the shoulders, into the hips. Maybe you can stretch a little bit deeper into your dog. Then walk the feet all the way up to the top of the mat. And fold forward, uttanasana, standing forward fold. So always looking to cultivate more awareness in the practice. Through these asymmetrical core exercises, we're able to feel more stability in the spine when we do seated postures. When we do standing postures, we're able to feel what upright and balance feels more like. So some of these exercises wouldn't be considered real classic exercises, but really beneficial with the classic yoga postures. So now stand in Tadasana, feel balance between right and left foot. Balance between your heels and your toe mounds. Okay, now separate the legs wide apart. Lift the arms up, and if you look down, your ankles should align with your wrists so you have a nice long stance. Balance in between heels and toe mounds. Press through the feet evenly. Now turn the left foot in a little bit. Turn your right leg all the way out so the toes point out. Align the feet heel to instep. Good. Now inhale, lift your chest, and as you exhale, reach out, place your right hand onto your shin. Then look down at your right foot, put your left hand on your hip. Bend your left knee a little bit and hug your right hip in so that if you look down, your right hip should line up with your center ankle. Then also notice in your right foot if it looks like you're falling to the inner and the outer arch. See if you can lift up through your arches. Then straighten the right leg to the best of your ability. I won't be straightening mine because the tendons aren't allowing it from my ankle. But if you can, straighten your right leg, lift your chest, turn your chest, and take your left arm up. Then come back up, press through your feet, reach with your top arm. Turn the legs to the other side. Turn the right foot in a little bit. Turn the left leg all the way out. Lift the arms up. Push into your back heel. Lift your chest. Inhale. As you exhale, reach out over the left leg. Place the hand onto the shin. Place the right hand on the hip. Now bend the back knee a bit. Bring your left hip in so it's aligned with your left ankle. Then look down at your left ankle and make sure that you're not rolling to the outside of the ankle. So push the heel and toe mounds, pull up through the inner and outer arch. Then lift up your side chest. Just like when you're seated, you're trying not to slouch. Try not to slouch in the spine here. Try not to let the spine fall. Lean back into the line of the left inner leg. Then take the right arm up if you're steady. Reach. Think of your back leg as an extension of your spine. Reach through the back heel. Press through the back heel. Open the chest. Reach with the top arm. Now press down firmly into your feet. Pull with your top arm. Come back up to stand as you inhale. Turn the feet so they're parallel. Then turn the legs to the other side. Turn the left leg in a little bit. Turn the right leg all the way out. Keeping your back outer heel pressed firmly, your back inner arch lifted, sit your right buttock down and bend your right knee so that your knee comes over your ankle. So now look down at your right knee. Don't let the right knee twist in. Turn the right thigh so that the knee points right in line with the second toe. Center knee with second toe. Then also, if you could feel a little more subtle, keep the apex of the arch lifted in your right foot as you set your right fingertips down. Try not to let the foot collapse. Put your left hand on your hip, right fingertips on the inside of your foot. If your chest is sinking, you could bring your hand onto your ankle if you don't have a block. Otherwise, fingertips down, Hug the right hip in, squeeze the right hip in to the midline and lean back with your chest a bit. Then take the left arm and stretch it straight up and overhead in the line of the ribs. As you reach past the left fingertips, push through the back heel through the floor. Breath smooth and steady. Come back to your steady breath. Draw the breath down below your navel as you inhale. As you exhale, send all the air out. Then press down into your feet, come back up. Warrior 2. Straighten right leg, turn the legs to the other side. Pivot the right foot in a little bit, turn the left leg all the way out. Now keeping the back outer heel anchored, side chest lifted, start to bend your left knee. Try not to let your left knee twist in. So spin the thigh out so your knee points right over, center knee points over second toe. Keep the back inner arch lifted. You don't want to be collapsing on the back inner arch. It's going to put too much pressure on the knee. It won't be very good for your hip. So teach your back leg that strength. Keep the side chest lifted. See if you can bend your left leg a little bit deeper. Now keeping the apex of the left arch lifted, the highest point of the left arch lifted, put your left fingertips down on the inside of the foot. Then put your right hand on your hip. Notice if you're collapsing the arch or rolling to one side of the foot or the other. Now pry the left knee open with your arm, squeeze your left hip in and lean back into the line of your left inner leg. Try not to be falling forward. Lift the side chest. Find the length of your spine, like in the seated posture when you're trying to twist open. Now stretch the right arm straight up overhead. Connect the back heel again. Tighten the back leg up, push through the back heel. Think of your back leg as an extension of your spine. So as you reach with more vigor through the back leg, you can lengthen especially through the lower spine. Get more length through the four sides of the waist. Open the chest. Then see if keeping your back heel strong, keeping your back heel anchored, maybe you can sit your left buttock down another inch. Take your right arm back up. Come back up to Warrior 2. Straighten the left leg. Pivot the left toes in so the feet are parallel. Stand tall, then interlace the hands behind the back and broaden the chest. Fold forward in between your legs. So when you fold forward here, make sure that the second toes point straight ahead. Second toe closest to the big toe, so the feet aren't turned in or out. If your shoulders are tight, I'm showing hooked thumbs as opposed to hands interlaced. You could also hold a strap or a towel. But now make sure that if you look at the feet, my arches are upright as best as possible. The right one's a little sloppy because of the sprain, but try to keep the feet as upright as possible when you're folding forward. Then come back up, step the legs together and stand in Tadasana mountain pose. Feet together, spin the inner thighs back and pin the outer hips in. Lift up through navel, lift outer side chest and stretch the center palm towards the floor. All right, now let's do Warrior 1. So turn to face the short side of your mat, step your left foot back, right foot forward, nice long stance, keeping your back leg strong, back knee straight, bend your right knee and raise your arms up. If you remember in Warrior 2, we were trying to keep the arches upright, the arches of the foot. So as you sit deeper into the pose, notice what's happening in the arch of the right foot. See if you can keep a lift through the arches as you start to sit your buttock deeper. Don't give up your back leg. Keep your back heel bone anchored. Keep your back inner knee lifted. Now lift up to your lower belly and stretch your arms. Then change sides. Step the left foot forward. Step the right foot back. Nice long stance. Keeping the back heel bone anchored, back inner knee lifted. Raise the arms up and bend the left knee. Stretch the back leg longer. Remember, that's that like imaginary extension of the spine comes through the back leg. Lift up through your lower belly. And now see if you can sit your left buttock closer to the floor without wavering onto the left foot. Keep the arches of the left foot upright. Help to protect the knee with the activity of the ankle. Then come on up, turn the feet in so that they're parallel. This time place the hands on the hips and roll the shoulders back. Then fold forward in between your legs. Keep the hands on the hips so you can feel if the hips are tipping or if you're just rounding somewhere in your back. So the spine will round, but see if you can get more flexion from the hips. See if the hips can tip you a little bit further into the pose. Again, observe the feet and the ankles. Then set the hands down onto the mat. Walk the hands back a bit so that the heel of the hand comes slightly behind the heel of the foot. Bend the elbows in towards each other and back. Let the head start to drop. Then inhale, come all the way back up to stand. Bring the legs together. Stand in mountain pose, Tadasana. Feel the effect of the standing postures that you've done. Then raise the arms all the way up overhead. Interlace the fingers again. Urdhva Baddha. Not again, that was the last video. Haven't done that yet in this video. So interlace the fingers, raise the arms up. Urdhva Baddha. Push down through the heels. Good, then bring the hands back down. Change the interlock. Other index finger on top and raise the arms up overhead again. Stretch your shoulders. Press the heels. Good, bring the arms back down. Then come down onto the hands and the knees. Then set the elbows down. Interlace the fingers. Make sure that your center elbows are aligned under your center shoulders. Center elbows, or maybe center armpits. With the hands interlaced, press the wrists, forearms, elbows down. Turn the inner armpits forward, roll the outer shoulders back. Now keeping the shoulders stacked over the elbows, start to walk your feet in closer. But don't let your back round. Lift the hips up, upper spine in. Okay, now if you can keep the hips lifted and the shoulders lifted, lower the head down. If you're feeling a lot of pressure on your head and you haven't practiced this pose yet, just think of pressing the forearms and keeping weight off of the neck. And you'll just practice that maybe for a couple months. If you're going to go up into Shirshasana, if you have the strength in the arms, if you have the ability to practice Shirshasana without any neck compression, you can go up. If you have a history of cervical compression, I don't recommend this pose. The whole time that you're up in Shirshasana, you should think of pressing the forearms evenly and lifting the blades, inner blades up away from the ears. Otherwise, you can just hold that down dog on your forearms, keeping the head up. That'll make you strong to eventually do this pose one day. So if you're up, slowly come back down, then rest in child's pose. Let the head rest. Then come up onto the hands and the knees. Take downward facing dog. Then hop to seated and lie on your back. So on the back, bring the heels close to the buttock, feet hip distance apart. Press the heels down, lift the hips up, bridge pose. Grab a hold of the sides of the sticky mat. Externally rotate the arms, try to get more up onto the top shoulders. Press the heels down, lift hips up. So we've done less postures in this video than some of the others videos. This is a great opportunity to focus and fine-tune your poses. As you hold here in bridge pose, press the upper arm bones down, and then move the upper spine in. Lower the hips back down, take a breath. Go back up, bridge pose. Press the heels, make sure your toes aren't turned out. push the inner heels down, lift the outer hips. Don't let the knees play out. Hug the knees in slightly. And as the groins spin down, pin the outer hips and lift. Relax the jaw, the tongue, the neck. Slowly lower back down. Set the buttock back down. Then roll over to your right side. And press yourself up to seated. Ardha Matsyendrasana. Cross the left heel at the outside of the right hip. Cross your right ankle on the outside of the left knee. Put your right fingertips behind you. Hook your left elbow around your knee. Now move the sacrum in and sit up tall. As you hug your knee in towards your chest, make sure that you're not sinking back. Roll the right shoulder back, turn the ribs in the chest. Come back to center. Change the cross of the legs. Put the left hand behind you, wrap your right elbow around your knee. Move low spine in. Slowly come back to center. Cross the legs, Sukhasana, simple cross legs. Cross the legs at the middle of the shins. Put the fingertips in front of you. Now lean forward halfway and move your lower back in like you're doing cobra. Then walk the hands forward. Let the top thighs release. Lengthen out over your legs. Breathe into the hips. Then walk your hands all the way over to the left so that the chest starts to aim out over your left knee. Especially let the right hip feel heavy right now. Walk the hands back to center. Come back upright. Change the cross of the legs. Put the fingertips in front of you, move the low spine in like in cobra. Then start to walk all the way forward. Let the hips feel earthy, let the hips feel rooted. Then walk the hands all the way over to the right. Aim the chest out over the knee. Breathe into the left side body. Let the left side of body start to open up like you had gills on the side body. All the way up to the side of the neck, armpit chest. All the way down towards the waist, side hip. Then walk the hands back to center and come upright. Stretch the legs straight out in front of you. Sit in Dandasana, hands at your side chest lifted. Then tip the spine forward, stretch out for your legs. Grab a hold of the pinky toe side of your foot, pull the pinky toes back towards you. Release the thigh bones down. Then inhale, come back up. And lie on your back for corpse pose. Hands at the side, palms facing up, let the feet splay open. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope this practice was beneficial for you. If you've been watching the channel and you're enjoying, please make sure to subscribe. And there's also a donation button. If you have some means to donate, we really appreciate the support.